Good morning, everybody, and it is Tuesday today. So let's jump right in with our date. So it is Tuesday, the 2nd of March, 2021. Tuesday, the 2nd of March, 2021. Moving on to our spellings then, and we are continuing to practice the L sound, made with one L or two L's. So let's practice our words. Self, felt, milk, help, fold, also, all, shell, yellow, aisle, you'll, and wheel. And as we said yesterday, this means I'll means I will, you'll means you will, and we'll means we will. And we write them into our Tuesday column. Now, we're on to part 3 of Sounds in Focus today, and it's becoming a little bit more challenging. You're asked today to find words in this box where the second sound is O, or where the third sound is O, or where the fifth sound is that O sound. So I'm going to tell you one answer for each of them because it is very tough. You have to search through the words, you have to sound them out and try and hear where you hear the O sound. Is it at the start? Is it the second sound, the third sound, and so on? So for example, one word where O is the second sound is all. O. The second sound is all. So you could write all here. And there are two other words where the second sound is O, and they're very close to where all is. Hint, hint. All right. Now, here you have to write words where the third sound is O. So one example of that would be self. S, I, L, F. I didn't sound that out quite correctly. I'm going to go again. S, I, L, F. So the third sound is the L sound. So we would write self here. And there's lots of other words near to self where the third sound is the O sound. So it's not necessarily the third letter. It could be a double L, but the third sound in the word. Remember, we sounded out the words. And finally, this one then, there's one word where the fifth sound is the O sound. And I'll give you a clue, it's in this third column. It's one of these where the fifth sound is the O sound. Which word is it? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each word and sound it out just to help you get an idea of where the sounds are in each word. Self, S, E, L, F. Felt, F, E, L, T. Milk, M, E, L, K. Help, H, E, L, P. Shell, Sh, E, L. Fold, F, O, L, D. Yellow, Y, E, L, O. All, A, L. Also, A, L, S, O. Always, A, L, W, A, S. Now the next column, remember we're looking for a word where the fifth sound is O, so listen carefully. T, I, L. A, N, T, I, L. Only, A, N, L, E. I'll, I, L. Heel, e, ul. Shield, sh, e, ul. Wheel, w, e, ul. Ittle, I, t, ul. You, y, u, ul. They, th, a, ul. Now there are lots of words in the word list this week where the third sound is the ul sound. So you won't get all of them in, okay? There are 9 spaces there. There are more than 9 words that have ul as their third sound. So don't get confused if you're thinking, well, I don't have enough space for all the words. For question 4, we're looking at rhyming words. And we remember that rhyming words are words that sound the same, apart from maybe the first or second letter. So hat, sat, pat, flat, they would all rhyme. Old, cold, fold, they would all rhyme as well. So it's words that sound the same apart from the first few letters. So today we are looking for rhyming words for help, sulk, belt, hold, and shelf. And inside this box, are words that will rhyme with those words. So for example, kelp, and that is an actual word, kelp, what does it rhyme with? It rhymes with help, doesn't it? So we would colour it in light green. What about sold? What does it rhyme with? Sold. It rhymes with hold, so we would colour sold in red. Now, if you don't have these colours, light green, dark green, brown, red and black, you can change 1 or 2 of them to a different colour if you don't have them, all right? So you could just cross out light green. Maybe you had purple. You could put purple here then instead, all right? And then there's a question at the end. What is hidden in the puzzle? So once you've coloured everything in, a picture will appear and you can work out what it is. And that would be enough sounds in focus for today. Today for our comprehension, we are learning about fair trade. And fair trade foods are a great thing. When you see a sticker on a banana or an apple or other kinds of food that says that it is a fair trade food, that means that the farmer who grew that food got a fair price when he sold it on to the shops, okay? Because sometimes, and many times years ago, farmers only got a little bit of money for the food that they sold, and then the big companies that bought all those foods made lots of money from them. So when food is fair trade, you know that the farmer who made the food or the person who made the food is getting a fair price, a price that they deserve, the money that they deserve for what they have made. So let's read through our text and then you can answer the questions. Now you, as I always say, you look at your own text because this phone will be moving around a little bit, okay? So I don't want to make you dizzy. Fair trade. What does fair trade mean? Some people earn their living by growing food or making things to sell. Their food and products are shipped to other parts of the world and sold in shops. However, unless they are paid a fair price for their products, they will not have enough money for food and clothing. Fair trade is about making the world fair and paying a fair price for things we buy. Did you know? Fair trade products are available in over 250 countries. How does fair trade help? Fair trade helps to make sure better prices are paid for crops. It makes sure there are better working conditions so workers are treated well and children can go to school. It also allows crops to be grown year after year. Fair trade products. There are over 4,500 fair trade products available to buy. If you buy one of these products, you know a fair price has been paid to the workers. Over the page then, useful hint. Look out for products with this symbol on. It means it is fair trade. Boys and girls, if you go into some shops, you will see fruit and things with this symbol on it, and chocolate and various other things, tea, coffee. If you see this, you know that the person who made that food or grew that food is getting enough money. Bananas. Some of the bananas in our shops are fair trade, but not all. Chocolate. Fair trade makes sure cocoa beans are sold for a fair price. Coffee beans. Coffee prices go up and down. Fair trade makes sure farmers have enough money to plant more crops. And so the questions ask you to find and copy the two things that people cannot afford if they are not paid a fair price. So make sure you look back through the text to find the answer. Question 2. Fair trade products are available in over how many countries? Tick one box. 150 countries, 250 or 350. Question 3. If fair trade prices are paid, what happens year after year? So look in the text for that phrase, year after year, and then you will be able to find the answer to this question. Question 4. Find and copy one word that means purchase. Purchase. So what does purchase mean? Have a look through the text. Question 5. All bananas sold in the United Kingdom are fair trade. Tick 1. Yeah, true or false? So are all bananas sold in the United Kingdom fair trade? You decide, true or false. Today for our maths we are looking at time again, and today we are looking at half past. So we've got half past on an analog clock and then half past on a digital clock. So we learned yesterday that with o'clock, when we are writing o'clock, the big hand, the minute hand, points to 12. When we are writing half past, the minute hand points to 6. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my minute hand pointing at 6 because it is a half past time. It's 2:30. Now, when it's half past, that means it is 30 minutes after 2 o'clock. It's no longer 2 o'clock exactly, it's 30 minutes later, 30 minutes after 2. Now, when we're writing 2 o'clock, our hour hand would point directly at 2. But because it is 30 minutes after 2, we have to move our hand a little bit, and I'll draw it for you now to show you. Now you'll see there that the hour hand, the second one I've drawn, is between 2 and 3. And that is because it is now 30 minutes after 2 and it's 30 minutes left until 3 o'clock. So it's halfway round the clock. This minute hand is halfway round the clock. So our hour hand has to be between 2 and 3. Okay, so as this minute hand keeps moving on around, this one will keep edging closer to 3. And then when it gets to 3 o'clock, it will point directly at 3. So this is how we write 2:30. Our big hand is always pointing at the 6. And our smaller hand, our hour hand, is halfway past the hour. So 2:30, 2:30. Now moving on to our digital time, and you'll remember yesterday that when we looked at digital clocks, it was a slightly different style of digital clock, and you had to have 4 digits for each time, like 0, 2, 0, 0. Sometimes though digital clocks only ask you to put 3 numbers in, like this one. And this is what the digital clock on my phone is like. It only shows me 3 digits for 2:30. So 2:30. 2:30 is the same as 2:30, which means 30 minutes past 2, just like we drew on the analog clock. So for each of these times, you're going to have 30 on this side and the hour on this side, which means 30 minutes past that hour. 5:30, 5:30, 10:30, 10:30, and so on. So that's your maths and your literacy for today, boys and girls. On Sunday evening, I sent out a new book list for everybody, so you can carry on reading those books and try to do 1 AR quiz in the week if you can. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.